Welcome back to That's Life with John Carver. This is episode number 212. 212. I called this episode Keep the Pain Hidden? It's a question mark. Keep the pain hidden? I think there's a tendency for some people, maybe a lot of people, that they might think that they're the only ones going through certain things in their lives, that they're the only one in their neighborhood or their town that have struggles or have had struggles in certain areas of their life. So they crawl into this, I call it this emotional cave, and they try to deal with their stuff, their demons, if you will, on their own. So this cave mentality, it seems, also happened when you have friends around you or family members around you who don't understand the pain that you're in or the struggle that you're in, and they don't want to take the time and invest the time to feel that pain because it might hurt them too, because empathy hurts sometimes. Silence many times from those who you think love you magnifies the struggles and that pain. Have you ever experienced that? You thought that people would come around you and help you get through this or get through that, and you really realize when you look around there's nobody there. Or maybe they came by your side in the beginning of your struggle, a few days into it, and then within a few weeks or even less they kind of faded away. Happened to me multiple times. So I've noticed that, you know, when people have the courage to speak up consistently and share their own pain and their own struggles, something really amazing happens. At least that's what's happened to me and a lot of other people I know, is that the people that were in their caves struggling and in pain by themselves would peek their head out because they heard you, or they heard me, or they heard somebody else expressing their pain or sharing their struggle. And then they realize that they're not the only one, because somebody chose to open their heart and say, I'm struggling with this, or I have this challenge, or I have that challenge. And then you find out so quickly that you're not alone in that struggle. You're far, far, far from being alone in that struggle. So in my own life, once I've had the courage to crawl out of my cave and stagger to my feet, I realized I started hearing that there's other people saying, me too, I've had this challenge, or I have this challenge, and you mean I'm not alone? So you being the brave one and stepping out of your cave and saying, I'm struggling in this area, I don't have all the answers, I don't know how to overcome this, then you have the synergy of other people that are struggling in similar ways or maybe the same way, and they can potentially, you can help each other grow through it. And that's, I won't get into the details of some of my struggles, but that's been a huge asset, a huge help in my own life. Rochelle Goodrich wrote one time, walk with me for a while, my friend, you in my shoes, I in yours, and then let us talk. You know how powerful it is to walk in somebody else's shoes and let somebody else walk in your shoes, to kind of understand each other? It begins, like I said before, with admitting that you're struggling. It begins with admitting that you're in pain, while understanding, this is really important, that 95 or more % people won't understand. In fact, there are going to be a percentage of people that will attack you because they truly don't want to understand. But you can't let that stop you. It's tried to stop me multiple times. In fact, more than multiple times. Hundreds of times, especially online. People attack you without knowing any of the real details about what you're going through. It was L.R. Knost, N-O-S-T, K-N-O-S-T wrote, quote, tell your story, shout it, write it, whisper it if you have to, but tell it. Some won't understand it, some will outright reject it, but many will thank you for it. And then the most magical thing will happen. One by one, voices will start whispering, me too. And your tribe will gather. And you will never, ever feel alone again. I love the words of Walt Whitman when he said, "I do not ask the wounded person how he feels. I myself become the wounded person." I can't overemphasize enough how much time that takes to walk in somebody else's shoes for the purpose of understanding, for the purpose of getting into their world, not to be nosy, not to get all into their business, but to understand their pain. That takes an investment of time. So my point is in this episode is that you're not the only one struggling and in pain. You're not alone. It's very tempting to get quiet. It's very tempting to implode because you think you're the only one. Start looking around. Start looking into groups that may have some of the same struggles that you have. And stop crawling around in this cave. Come out of your cave. Come out of this feeling that you're the only one, because when you choose to crawl out of your cave and stay out of your cave with the understanding that you're not by yourself, healing can begin to happen. It's worked for me. It's worked for a lot of other people that I know of and that I know personally. So I hope a little bit of this information gave you a little bit of courage, gave you a little bit of hope that maybe it's time for you to leave your cave. Life's too short to live in a cave, don't you agree? My name is John Carver. Thanks for watching.